Yeah, so Jace ban again, definitely not wanting to come up against Cube on that in the top lane, or Chara in the mid lane. It could be something they found in their research that we couldn't track down, because something that we saw Suche try from before. So Kayle ban, that's a new one. She wasn't banned in the last game.
Right. No, she was. She was banned. She's a general ban. Kayle is such a good pick. Jungle or mid lane. I've seen something do support Kayle recently, but yeah, you have to ban Kayle. I think Jarvan's a general ban. I think Elise is a general ban. Fiddlesticks and Jace, I think, are target bans in this matchup. But, you know, TCM, these are the same bans as before. Is it going to be a Thresh?
The last ban we saw in the previous game was from MYM, and it was Twisted Fate.
Right.
This time, however, they're blue side. This time they've got that first pick. It's on TCM. Do you want to leave open that Thresh first pick or the Twisted Fate? They've left open Thresh.
They have left open Thresh. MYM have first pick. They first picked, sorry, TCM first pick Zona last time. MYM first pick Thresh. I think TCM are in trouble. I think they're thinking, how are we going to deal with this? They got the Rumble this time.
Yeah, they do take that away. Zola, I mean, they didn't have a particularly hard time against each other in that top lane before. That's the way the matchup goes. But that ultimate, the power Rumble brings to team fights, the damage he does with the overheat, resourceless champion ultimately, can be very, very instrumental.
I think it's Jungle Taric. I think it's Jungle Taric.
You think?
In Greener Pro League last week, TPA completely destroyed Najin Sword with a Jungle Taric. It was Jungle Taric and Diana mid lane. And Najin Sword's mid lane, it's a great mid lane. He could not deal with the Diana and Taric ganks. It was just absolute struggle. Could be Jungle Taric, maybe, maybe not. I mean, from what I did see, he hasn't been playing it much. You know, I tried to check these guys' match history as far as I could go, so it could just be a support Taric, but I would love it was a jungle Taric.
Yeah, you mentioned Renekton was one of those highly contested picks. We saw it before. It did get taken by TCM. This time, taken away, switched straight back to MYM, so they've got that one now. Very similar setup, however, from MYM. Hook goes out. Twisted Advance comes in, stun follow-up from Cho, and that's one person picked off and locked down. So TCM, they've seen this work before. They've just had it executed against them. How do you stop that? Is it just ward everywhere, or stickers of 5 everywhere, or?
They're going to have to do something. Yeah, this is... I'd be surprised... Oh, MF, okay, she's got no escapes like Varus, you know. MYM, I can see them focusing on the bot lane. I love the Volibear pick from TCM. It does mean it's going to be Taric bot lane. They want to... How they want to cancel the ganks? They want to stun. They want to use that stun, maybe go all in with the Taric. And they want to be able to counter gang it. Sona was a bit weak. She was eating all the hooks. She was the squishy target. Ezreal would be safe. I prefer MF, but Volibear is a great pick for TCM.
Yeah, you mentioned before, Caitlyn, Ezreal, 2 of Nanook's biggest play champions, going by his rank stats at the moment. Not too much tournament history for these guys, unfortunately, but they're making it now. They have their chance. So first Volibear of the tournament. We've seen him a lot in tournament play at the moment, a lot of competitive, a lot of LCS picks. It was obviously shown to the world by Diamond Proxy in some of the earlier weeks of LCS. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's got slightly different ways of running it. Right. He was very favorable in the phases of lane swaps and that 3-man dive at 3 minutes in top or bottom lane because of how simple his CC was to land. You just chuck someone back into your team, blow them up again before they try and run away. Those don't seem to happen so much more, those lane swaps, because they've been figured out, because everyone knows how they work. You don't tend to see them. But Volibear is still played. He is still very strong. What gives him that power?
He scales really well with health. People love building health right now, and his passive is great. I mean, we saw in the International Exhibition at MLG, the final game, Gambit Gaming against Volibear. It was against Volibear, because Volibear went like 9-0. Orianna picked up from MYM. Huge night and day from Ari. These two champions play so differently. You can throw the ball on Maokai though, he can jump on the AD carry. A lot of damage happens there, but these guys, they're looking for the team fight late game, you know, with the Vayne, especially against the Ezreal. Interesting Kha'Zix looking out right now, but there's definitely not the high single target burst damage that we saw last game from MYM that essentially won them the game.
So I mentioned briefly on the Rumble talk in the previous game, we have seen Rumble run in the mid lane a couple of times. Kha'Zix is a champion that Zola plays a lot and is very strong within that top lane. Geo, it's not something that showed up quite so much, but he is more commonly, we've seen a lot more Kha'Zix in that mid lane. Alex Hitch is, of course, very famous for it, plays him incredibly powerfully. Do you expect perhaps a last-second switch here, or do you think this is just going to stay this way? Geo's going to run teleport Kha'Zix in mid.
Kha'Zix can nearly kill Orianna level 2. If Orianna backs up from the creep so she gets the hunting instinct, the more
isolation,
damage, the isolation damage bonus from Kha'Zix, but he doesn't want to do that. He has teleport. They don't want to deal with they reckon MYM's running TP mid. They're guessing right. Kha'Zix is going TP. We're going to see some crazy all-ins, level 3 or 4, I think, specifically in the bot lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like this from TCM. Taking that matching teleport this time round means he's going to be able to follow Charu in his TPs, whereas he couldn't on Lux before. But this is going to be game number 2 between Meteor Makers and TCM Gaming. TCM Gaming, 1 game down at the moment. They're looking to try and get themselves back into this series. They are by no means out yet. And this is for, ultimately, the chance for Lifetime. This is for the Summer Promotion Series for LCS. These guys, should you qualify, should you get into the second half of the LCS, that's when you start playing for a spot at the World Finals. That's when you start earning your right to play and show the world what Europe can do. This is the big one.
Right, but here's the difference. MYM, I think they've won about $40,000 worth in prize pool. These guys have been to so many tournaments as a 5. And the main thing you learn is how, okay, you lose game 1, but then it's a blank slate. You go into game 2. TCM, home crowd. These guys, they love them. Can they, they've got to get back into that mindset. And interesting, red pot again on the AP mid lane from MYM. That's very interesting.
And this time around it's on Kha'Zix, though, so he's a little bit more favoured. And yes, Charu running again. So interesting that they're both going to go with that bonus HP start, but both teams starting out this level 1 fairly grouped. We do see one player splitting off on either direction. Going to go and grab themselves a little bit of extra vids and find out where their opponents are going. But MYM, we saw them have that late invade before, and it went horribly wrong for them. This time it's not going to be so late, and we are going to see Makler get into that bush at the right time. Zola missed all of his slows, so he's not going to notice. Flash snare comes out from Makati. Grab comes down from Libic, and there's a first blood for MYM.
You can see in the cameras, wow, that deadpan faces from TCM. MYM are pumped. They were yelling at the monitors. They loved that pick. That Thresh grab was truly quite something. And Rumble, what on earth happened? He checked the bush. He should have hit something when he harpooned that bush. But no, that was quite lucky. But MYM just must be feeling great.
Yeah, we just see the rest of TCM heading towards that red buff side, that bottom side. There was a chance they could have set Malco back a little way by taking that buff out if they hadn't been spotted, but that's where Charu went. That's where Oriana went early on, planted her ward in there, spotted them. They have pinged it. It's now no longer warded. TCM are hanging around. They are waiting down there in that tri-bush. Bush has been checked. Libic counter pink warding it, making sure there's no vision on this. But there are still 4 members of MYM in the bottom half of this jungle. Makati waiting for help. Here is TCM. The ping goes onto the bush from MYM.
They saw them.
They suspect they're in there. They know it. The grab goes out. They grab Narcus. It's all given up now. They do stop the Golem attempt. Going to try and take this away. But ultimately, both junglers now going to be a little way behind. Just toying with each other, scaring each other back. And TCM just bullied off of that. Makati picks up the big Golem.
MYM get the Golem. That was probably one of the most hotly contested big Golems I've seen in a long time. One of the great things about Oriana is she is such a safe level 1, like just strategy, because she can ball check the bush. Lux, you're going to have to sacrifice your bind if you want to like face check anything. But overall, TCM, I'm glad they backed out. That could have gone so badly for them. The idea was there, but someone just saw them on the edge of going into that bush by the Golem.
Yeah, so Narcus doesn't get any help on his blue buff from his team because of the aggressive start on Golems. And as a result, pops his passive very early on that blue buff. Stun goes down onto Makler. Libic, he played that a bit risky, leaving his AD carry down there 2v1 against Tariq Ezreal for quite some time to go and place that ward. But again, TCM didn't really know what to do about it. They couldn't capitalize on it. They are an inexperienced team. They could have been very aggressive onto Makler. They zoned him out from early XP, done some early damage to it. But ultimately, by the time they realized, okay, let's do this, Libic had come and rejoined them.
Okay, so Maokai, he hit level 2 off red buff, chose not to do his blue buff. He hasn't picked, he just picked his knock up as a second steal. He hasn't got the sapling. He's going all in on this gank, which is interesting because he doesn't have flash.
Yeah, he used that early on, and it's not exactly, he hasn't got there any earlier than before. It's still that 3-minute timing that most top laners arrive top. I mean, they're going to expect him to be a bit later because of the level 1, but he does come out and go straight under the turret. Gets the snare down onto Zola. Cubon is tanking the turret, and the Ignite is ticking down to him. Makati, though, taking too many turret shots, had to back away as well, and a completely failed dive from MYM has now put Cubon in a horrible position. There's the Ghost, there's the charge coming out from Narcus. He will try and dash through the wall, has to flash instead, dashes down into the Baron pit, gets out safely, but with his flash on cooldown now, Rumble's going to have a little bit extra fun, and Makati, sacrificing their buff, going for that early gank, taking a lot of health and having to back, is now going to be even further behind.
That could have gone so wrong for MYM. They got pretty lucky in that dive. Maokai doesn't have that much damage. I mean, okay, Rumble, kind of squishy, but he has a lot of potions. He wasn't going to drop that low. Very risky dive. Nearly went badly for them as the early aggression did them in the first game.
Ultimately, if Maokai tanked the tower, if Maokai had the damage and Renekton was allowed to do all his damage, then the damage might have been there. That's where it was, but because he was tanking the tower, he had to immediately run, leave, and they had no damage left. Right. Now Makati comes back and he's going to do his blue buff. He is level 3 at the moment, but you saw at the start, they had that first blood kill. They had about a 600-700 gold lead because of the delayed starts in TCM's jungles and the likes, but that's starting to get closed up a little bit because Rumble's been allowed to stay up here and farm a bit longer, because Cubon and Makati were forced back for a while, and now Rumble's looking to capitalize on that. Right,
but going back to the tower dive, I mean, the problem with Maokai tanking the tower is he didn't have flash. Like, that could go so wrong, especially because Rumble had Ignite, and interestingly, oh, great lane gang coming up.
Narcus hiding here in the side. They were a bit cautious though, because they knew Cubon wouldn't come that far forward without Maokai, and they've seen him in a ward in the river. So they know Maokai's here, they know this is going to be a 2v2, and they are playing very carefully, waiting to pick their fight. There's double buffs on the Maokai. That's going to be a prime target. They want it. Teleport comes in from TCM earlier than the teleport from Charu, because they knew what was going to happen. Here comes Charu's teleport. Narcus is already very low though. Cubon's going to be the first one to drop. That's the second kill of the game, but Charu does get onto Narcus with help of Makati as he was overly exposed. Red buff goes across to Charu, and they're going to switch on to Zola. Makati taking him very low. Now Gio's in here, and he's had to flash away. Red buff is ticking. Sapling goes out for a little bit of extra damage. There's the knockback for the slow, but it's not quite enough range on it. Gio does get out with his life. I did have to pop his red pot though.
Orianna does such good auto attack damage. When she pops that red pot, she actually does an insane amount of auto attack damage. So she was just auto attacking away. She's quite quick speed, but no one ever aimed for her. They kind of aimed for the Maokai, but Maokai did a great leap over Kha'Zix's spikes. So Kha'Zix wasn't doing that much damage, and they were fighting in a minion wave, so there was no isolation bonus. Overall, TCM had to use that TP, but MYM reacted really well.
Yeah, and as a result, they've gained that advantage back up. 3 kills to 1. 1 kill on mid, 1 kill on jungle, 1 kill on support from that first blood. So we'll see what exactly use they make of that. But look at these mid and top lanes. Both of them have the creep wave push right into the turret. So there's some creep and some experience that TCM's mid and top laners are going to have lost to those towers. Just pushing home every little advantage they can. Bottom lane, it's been a little bit less exciting compared to how it was before, but we do see stun going out now onto Libic. Ignite goes down as well. Zaro kind of chase into that. Makler taken very low. Still going to try and trade with this Nanook. He's taking a lot of damage there from that true damage bolt, but ultimately Makler, cool, calm, and collected, despite being on lower health, despite taking the earlier attack. He knows what kind of damage he can take, he knows what kind of damage he can deal, and he just stood there attacking Nanook regardless.
Yeah, bot lane seems to be all about whenever they see Maokai on the map. The moment Maokai was top lane, they can't, you know, Taric stuns, they see what they can do. And Maokai he's really been leaving bot lane relatively alone. There has been 1 kill bot lane, but you know, he's definitely changed his tune.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a CS advantage in favour of Vayne here too. We do now see Volibear, sorry. Volibear heading down in towards this bush. They have both been cleared. There's Pink in the far side, and now Taric standing in this one. A little bit coming a little way forward. Both of them are very low, looking for that perfect stun, but MYM, they know something's up, they're sniffing it. Oh. They're going to get a recall on 1, but Libic's staying, they're changing their mind completely. Maokai's in the bottom half of this map. Maybe that's giving them the safety they think they have. They don't. Do see Kha'Zix roaming around a little bit. He's going to go grab his own blue buff, I actually think. Yeah, he's going to go and tank that himself, take it down. He is very low on mana. Charu heading this way toward, and a beautiful lantern from Libic reveals that and wastes so much of Narcus' time. He was down there for ages for nothing. Zola ults on to Cubon, but Cubon's doing a lot of damage here. The overheat comes out, and he's going to keep chasing. Gets a little bit stuck on minions though, and it ultimately puts a complete end to that fight.
Yeah, Renekton has nice sustain, so after that he's just like, thanks, I'm going to farm up this minion wave, and we're kind of even again. Volibear, he tried they just, MYM, they kind of thought, you know, we haven't seen Volleyball on the map in a while. His ghost should be up again now. If he's not already ganked top, he's probably nearby. And it was a great lantern just to make sure that was the case. Goal difference, I thought it would be more than 1,000, but, you know, it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, it's still very close. And you see there's 1,800 gold there on Ezreal, 2,000 on Vayne. Neither of them have been back for a long time.
Interesting red pot from Maokai, actually.
Yeah, again, that bonus burst of health can catch a lot of people off guard. And of course, it scales with you as you level up. The potion gets stronger the higher level you are. So it's an interesting pickup.
It kind of reminds me of, you know, one of the popular counter jungle Shyvana builds, because counter jungling Shyvana has kind of gone out of style. But when people do play it, they start red pot on a jungler because you're going to go way deep. And if you go in that deep, you want the security. So I think that could be what he's going to do, and big engager on the top lane, looks like.
We do flash forward, Sun comes out from Cube onto Zola. There's the follow-up, the twisted advance from Rakate, despite Zola flashing into tower range. It is an easy kill for Meteor Makers.
Okay.
Didn't have to pop his red plate.
Right, yeah, absolutely. That's more for if he gets caught in the enemy jungle, I think, so that's what they're kind of debating. The reason Maokai's gone top, you know, I just remembered, is the Rumble First Blood. Okay, Rumble didn't blow flash, but it's a psychological thing at this point. You want to beat him down and down. You want him to think there's no way we can win this game. Despite, you know, what his teammates do, he thinks he's a liability for his team, and they're just going to camp him and make him feel like he's not worth that much.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be worth much less gold, but ultimately, Rumble, he's not the worst champion when it comes to being slightly behind in items. That ultimate is still going to slow. It's still a big AoE effect. It's still going to be good control in a team fight, and those harpoons are still going to slow quite effectively too. So he's not going to be completely shut out and useless, but if he's doing no damage and if he's squishy, he's going to have to play these fights very, very carefully. And we've got hyper carry Vayne here from Makler, one of his favorite champions. We've seen him time and time again. Quadra kills, pentakills, clean up fights using their champion, and at the moment he's being left alone to just sit in the bottom lane and farm.
Right. I mean, Rumble's damage, it does get good, but it really gets good once he gets some spell pen. He's been going so defensive. He's going slowly towards the Haunted guys, and then will eventually go towards Leandri's. But I mean, just look at this Kubon aggression. Like, he has to build armor, otherwise he's just gonna die. When he really wants to be doing the Haunt guys, a huge fight going on bot lane.
We do see stun comes out from Mixer. Box is down to stop. Narcus charging in. Makler's very, very low. So is Mixer, but there's the Ezreal comes down. Makler is so low and has to immediately run away from this. But TCM have nothing left to chase onto it, so he does get out safely. But now, with Vayne that low, they can put a lot of pressure onto this bottom turret. Makate's down his still. Grab goes down onto Mixka, but there's no other damage to follow it up. They do clear the crew wave out nice and effectively, though, and that's going to have to force TCM back. Could they Drake here, or is that too risky?
I think they're both kind of looking at mid lane. Both mid laners are watching each other like a hawk right now. When that huge fight went down, they both had TP, and they were both watching to see if the other one TP'd. But no one wanted to TP first because they'd be vulnerable. But no one did, so they kind of... Interesting situation going on bot lane. But overall on the fight, just the box shut down the TCM aggression. If that box hadn't been quite so well, Vayne was dead and could have been a dragon.
Yeah, you've got to look at the fact that TP is in mid lane too. Charu can cancel GOG's TP. Charu, using his ultimate, that displacement will cancel the teleport. Geo, in the same situation, can't cancel Charu's. He's got no kind of displacement, no kind of knockback. His only hope is to just straight up try and kill Orianna, or, of course, take her low as possible, so when she gets to the bottom lane, she can be killed by the team down there, but, you say, still very risky from both parties. Other than that, the lane is going very much in Orianna's favor. 122 farm to 88, and she's got that extra kill from those fights earlier on in the top lane. How is Kha'Zix getting beaten so hard? He's normally, as you mentioned, he's got the possibility to just 1v1 her at level 2. Has he not been doing that aggression right? What's Charu been playing?
Well, the problem was they had that massive fight top lane, which they both TP'd in. Orianna came so far ahead. She got a kill, and she got to shove the wave. Massive XP advantage, able to pick up some great items. She actually has no armor, which is interesting. But yeah, it's a CS difference. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Orianna, you know, it's a CC thing. She's not going huge damage right now.
We do see in the top lane, Cubone coming around behind Zola, cancels his recall with a column mix, stun goes down, Makati comes to join him, ignites ticking, Zola just waiting for the inevitable death. Renekton, only 182 gold for him now, it's really not worth much, but as you said, they're going to keep picking on him.
Right, even though they don't have quite the same...
Marcus, he's chasing onto Limit, knocked back. Can he get there in time? Not quite. The Ghost comes a little bit too late and the Fling's gone. He's going to keep the chase up anyway. There's the teleport coming in from Gio. He's going down towards the bottom lane. Makla's here. Box comes out. That doesn't hit anyone just yet, but Narcus runs straight into it. So does Gio. And that puts an end to TCM's aggression, but the grab comes onto Narcus, pulls him back towards Tarek. Couple of shots from Vayne. And again, puts TCM back.
TP Orianna behind them.
Yeah, Orianna didn't need to TP straight with. She pushed the lane into Turret. Now she team being behind him. Now she gets that 3-man ultimate. That was beautiful. Pulls the flash away though. Mixer very, very low. Finished off by Makla. 1 kill apiece. Charu is dropped. Narcus are doing a lot of damage. He's got his passive ticking for that heal as well. Ezreal's chasing under Makla. Does pick up 1. Gio's doing a lot of damage. Libic's forced to chase away. Rocket's coming out, but TCM don't have enough health to go down under this turret.
That was a 2-for-1 for TCM, despite a 4-man Orianna ult. Oh, Maokai's going,
Maokai's going silly aggressive. What was that, Makati? He's going very, very low, but he does get the lantern. Libic's Thresh is on fire.
Thresh has been absolutely carrying MYM this game. He's been doing some great plays. He's got a great kit. Kha'Zix is sitting on a ward. But TCM, this was the problem. Orianna, she got an amazing ult, but she has no armor. She got killed really, really fast because she put herself in that position. And, you know, it could have worked out so much better for MYM. She had a great ult, and those ults are really hard to land. But sometimes you've just got to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, TCM stayed a little bit too grouped. Ezreal did get out of it using his Arcane Shift and his Flash, I believe. But yeah, still 3 members of that team caught in it, and they still blew her up. So Cubone takes down that pink ward at Drake. That's going to be giving MYM the vision control of that. Libic has to back away. Tarek the same. Ultimately a little bit of a reset, but there's still a 3,000 gold advantage in favor of Meet Your Makers right now.
And it's really interesting that no one is even trying to contest for Baron. They'd much rather go for towers. Dragon.
It would be a very interesting Baron. 25 seconds after he spawned, Baron fight.
Yeah, they're not doing a CLG last night, but yeah, it's interesting. They're going for the kills and they're going for the, well, I mean, there's only 1 tower died in this game. How is that even possible? But it's been quite a show.
There has been non-stop aggression from these junglers, really making the plays. And again, Libic down in the bottom lane on Thresh, facilitating that. Start seeing that Blade of the Ruin King taking shape there for Makla down on his Vayne. The attack speed, the percentage health damage, stacking with his true damage, of course, from his Silver Bolts, his W. But Bloodthirst to start from Ezreal. Why the difference?
Right, Ezreal, his passive gives him a bunch of attack speed, and this is pretty key dragon fight because Renekton's still in top.
Yeah, he does immediately start to make his way down here, but TCM are taking this dragon down very quickly. Makati's coming off to one side. The smite goes out though. Nice, Orianna hits 3 people, but here's the rumble. Charu's taken down very quickly, forced to flash away, but he's flung straight back in and dropped. Gio taking a lot of damage from Makla, but Makla's so low. Nanook does get that 1 kill. Makati's now low. He's trying to fight Narcus, but the passive is healing him too quick. Libic's there. Now Cubone's come in. He's trying to clean up. He's big, but are you big enough to do 5? Gio leaps away. Cubone's still alive. Still no casualties for TCM, but they are all so low. They cannot dive this tower. Cubone holds it for now, but they are going to keep pushing, this time with creeps.
That just went so well for TCM. They played that great. People backed out when they were low enough. Volibear trusted in his passive. They were so close to taking Volibear out, but just tick, 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 health regeneration. Kha'Zix, he has to be feeling, Renekton, he came down as soon as he could. It just wasn't in time. MYM, they tried, but TCM, they just got some great momentum. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next.
That goal count now even straight back up. In fact, a slight lead now for TCM after that mid turret. That was perfect for them. That was a team fight, as opposed to the previous game where someone was getting caught and it was 4v5 and there was a bit of a skirmish. This time, they fought 5v5. They went straight in, despite another 3-man Orianna ultimate. That Rumble, who, as we said, he got shut down hard, got a beautiful ult all the way up the ramp and stopped MYM's retreat, did a lot of damage with it. And Gio's starting to get some damage. He's starting to get those resets, and that's going to be terrifying. Makla, yeah, he's doing a lot of attacks, he's doing a lot of damage, but he cannot stay alive in these last 2 skirmishes.
Right, and this is Orianna's problem. She just, oh wow.
Cubone getting caught out in mid, leapt over the wall. Gio picks him up easily. That ward in the mid lane is what facilitated it. They showed it backing around the corner. He thought he was out of vision, not the case. Easy pickup. Wards win games.
Yeah, they do. The other thing is Orianna, she's going for the huge ults, but she's putting herself in bad positions to do them. Volleybag got a great flip on Orianna, and she just went splat. She's still got no armor. Orianna's a really good champion, but she's a really squishy champion, and Maokai is going straight in on Volleybag in top lane.
He is. He's trying to clear the creep wave out, though. We do see 4 members of TCM in the bottom half of the map. They did ping onto Libic and Makler, but ultimately they spent a lot of time doing a whole lot of nothing. Now Kha'Zix has revealed himself. Rumble's coming around behind, but Chara is also coming here. So it's going to be 3v4 if Rumble responds, but Cubon's coming out too. So they've kind of missed their window where they had this 4v2 situation. Now it's 3v4, 4v4 as they come in. Geo taken down very low though. Makler is burst. Orianna misses because of the flash out from Makler. And he is Rumble. Rumble closes his ult down, forces another flip away, gets the kill. Box goes out, but he just slows TCM's retreat. MYM themselves are so low. Here goes Cubon. He's in again. He's going deep, but he's still not enough to take that many of them down. Good Orianna damage down onto Geo, but it's not enough to finish him off. TCM are low, but so are MYM. Cubon's got his ult ticking. Got that slice and dice. Got to be careful if he goes into Nanook. He's still got support. Tao's still alive. Now he goes forward. Slice and dice forward and backwards. Goes in for the lantern. Doesn't get it. It times out. And Zola's now in a horrible position as far as Cubon's concerned. Nanook grabs a free kill. Here's the teleport from Chara after home guard though. Comes in onto Zola. Takes him down so low with a slow. Zola will drop. Nanook's going to try and duel him. No armor still on Chara. And here's the result. TP from Geo. Leaps in onto Libic looking for the reset. Using his ult to get in closer towards that support. The lantern's already been used, but there's a shield from Chara. Geo taking the ignite. Tries to back away. There goes out the rockets. Makati flashes in. Gets the snare. Gets the knockback. There's the kill for himself. Now he's looking for Nanook, but he gets blocked by the creeps.
Wow, so much to talk about in that fight. You know, to start off, there was nothing Orianna could have done with her ult. You know, she had no idea that Vayne was just literally about to flash away from that fight. You can't Q it because the Q has a much shorter range than the shield, so not much, you know, I won't hold that against Orianna. Definitely made up when teleported back, landed some great snares, doing chunks of damage to the enemy team. It was interesting when Thresh threw out the lantern to Orianna. It's like, come help me. But Orianna did not want to click that lantern. No. Overall, pretty even, actually.
Yeah, and you see the gold, it's still back in MYM's favor, but it's still only about 400 gold. That's a tiny amount. But the longer this game goes on, the stronger Makler's going to be. But he needs to stay alive. That's 3 fights now. We've seen him be the first casualty, more or less, and that's not how Vayne's going to do, or how Vayne's going to win these fights. Cubon showing up a little bit late, time and time again. Not enough to 1v4 people, but he's getting damn close to some of these low health champs. And we're just waiting for that perfect fight for Kha'Zix, just waiting for those resets. He got so close that time. Couldn't quite finish Libic off, though. Next one it'll be there, perhaps. Geo's still holding out for it. 305 Ezreal, he's getting very, very strong. He's got a last whisper up with that Bloodthirster. Where would he go next? Defensive, or can he keep going offensive?
I think he's still probably going to go slightly offensive. He's not too worried about Maokai's damage. He's not too... he could be worried about Orianna's ult. It's more about the follow-up Renekton. But he's still, you know, he has that arcane shift. He still should be kind of safe. He has a nice defensive backline for him. Vayne definitely knows she's the target right now. She's had, I think, 2 red pots on full duration, and they've paid in dividends.
We do see Rumble picking up a couple of kills in the last couple of fights too. He's now closing that gold gap. In actual fact, he's ahead of gold of Renekton now. You see it there on your screen. Thanks to the dragons and the towers and the likes, TCM's top laner, despite being punished so hard, is now richer than Renekton. And he's got a blue pot in his inventory too, so it doesn't give him bonus health like the red pot does, but can give him that extra boost of damage that you're not quite ready for. You see both teams standing off now as the Drake is...
Right, Rumble's finally been able to start building damage. He got a bunch of kills, they got a dragon, they got some nice towers. So, you know, he went for the Seekers, Dorans early. Now he has a Leandri's Torment and a Sorcerer's. So his ult is absolutely gone up in damage from previously.
Just looking, they're all dancing around the Drake. We don't have the timer up, so... I missed it himself. There it is, so we just missed it. The Drake is alive. We do now see them stand off. They do get the snare goes down in onto Narcus, but the box comes out. Mixco going very, very low, but a great Rumble and Ezreal combo takes a lot of MYM out. The 3 low health members of TCM there are not important. Makler's now taken very low. Does manage to pick up the kill onto Geo first, but now Nanook and Zola left up against Cubon and Charu. Charu's still got no armor, but neither does Nanook have any magic resist. He gets melted by Charu's Orianna. Cubon comes in to help with the cleanup. Now he can tank the dragon, and that was a great fight for MYM. But what was it they did so right?
MYM got a great start, initiate on Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, like we saw the Ari in the last game, he thrives when he doesn't start in the fight. When they don't know where he is, he can go in, he can threaten the AD carry. But this time they got a nice Orianna roll, they got Thresh boxes. Maokai covered so much area. Ezreal, everything just was hitting through the Maokai ult, shredding, I mean, taking so much of that damage away. And, you know, it's really good for Maokai when he's able to do that in the team fights. Ezreal, no one was on him until he basically died. You know, he Arcane shifted forward, he got a little bit cocky going for the Vayne, and Renekton just turned around and said, what are you doing here?
Yeah, as I say, TCM now need to just calm down. There's one fight. Yes, they lost a Drake from it, but this is not game over. They were fighting so well before. They cannot let that get themselves disheartened. They can still turn this around. They've got good wall coverage. You see so many wards from MYM down towards that Drake pit, but now Drake's dead, and they're switching up towards this Baron. Geo just about dodging that hook without even realizing it. Libic slightly misplacing it. Has pinked the Baron. Mixget heading straight past himself. MYM are closing in on this area, but there are 4 members of TCM here, and Ezreal's on his way up. They're looking for this top turret. They want to grab that third of the game on their side of the map. And still pushing mid as Maokai's there. It's going to be 4 members from either team here now top, but Makati's going to get there before Ezreal is, so TCM need to be careful. They do know that. They back away, head down towards Ezreal, down towards the river again, but again, they're going to walk straight past an MYM ward. He has to be careful.
Oh, nice pink wards from TCM, puts them in a great shot. Great instincts from Thresh right now, putting that ward over the wall.
Good reaction. They do grab Geo, but there's no one in any position to follow it up. Fires his rockets out, doesn't hit anyone either. And TCM have done a great job here zoning MYM out from their own mid lane. This tier 2 turret is very, very important. They've pushed them to one side, but MYM are looking for the engagement to get the flash in. Does get a great 3-man Orianna thanks to the shield. And there's 3 low health members of TCM very quickly. Mix goes back. Rumble gets his ult off, but he's taken very low. Q1 finishes that kill. Here's Makler doing damage. He's not dead this time around. Does manage to pick up the kill onto Ezreal and Rumble. Thresh gets the kill onto Volibear. Only Geo's left up, and he can't go for any reset because no one's low health, and MYM might have just earned themselves a Baron.
Beautiful initiation from MYM. It's a lot safer Orianna ulting when your Maokai flashes in. Vayne, she always wants to be going forward. She has that great passive. If you're going forward and you're not running away, you do so much damage. Kha'Zix, all he could do in that fight, he ulted, dodged the side, and just ran away. He couldn't get to the back line.
He does get hooked over the wall. Libic finds him. Box goes out. Doesn't even need it. He is nuked, and Libic grabs himself another kill. 3-11. Thresh with kills. Who'd have thought it?
Yeah, great plays all around from Thresh this whole game. He's really has to be, his team have to be, you know, really proud of that. And MYM, they're just, you know, they've been here before. Now they're just like, okay, guys, just take it easy. We're gonna slug this out. We're gonna win it safely. We're not gonna get in a situation like we were before, and we should be fine. You know, we've won games like this before.
Yeah, and this is starting to slowly get out of TCM's hands. They've probably got about 2 more chances to get this now. They're still very rich, they're still very strong. They just need to fight on their terms. The last 2 have been initiated by MYM. They've come out from the side, they've come out towards the Drakes and jumped on to TCM. TCM themselves now need to be the ones making these plays, need to make those opportunities, because that's where they worked out before. They were starting the fights in the bottom lane. They were starting the fights around the Drakes. They got those objectives. They're letting TCM take control.
Right. But at this point, you know, with the Baron buff, MYM, they're going to be in TCM's face with this buff. The moment all their ultimates back up, which I think they are, and... Oh, they do grab Mixer. He's already very low. Charu using his ult for it. Is it worth it? It does grab the kill. That makes it 5v4. And they've got Baron buff, so they've got that regen, the bonus damage, the bonus regens. Now I can siege effectively. Without Taric, TCM are going to be a whole lot less scary if they want to tower dive this. That single target, targetable stun is horrible if you're trying to single target dive someone onto tower. Not there anymore. They grab a free tier 2 turret. These Thresh hooks are absolutely winning the game. I mean, they don't have the same single target burst they had last game, but Thresh, when he hooks, people are just dying. People are dropping. Okay, he was slowed from Orianna, but...
It's a good Rumble ult. Clears the crew wave out and forces MYM to back up. Don't want to risk fighting on that. Don't want to risk getting caught. Charo takes a little better poke, but still they're just waiting for the next crew wave. Taric has respawned now though, so it is going to be 5v5 on this mid inhibitor turret. It's down to half health.
The moment Maokai sees a good time to go on Kha'Zix, I can see them diving now.
Oh, creep grab. Not quite there. Creep grab. Thresh grab. Not quite landing.
He's a big creep. He's a really good creep too. very effective.
All them souls, a little bit creepy.
Oh, these thresh hooks, they're gonna catch someone soon.
Just the paranoia that you know every time he's throwing one of those, they are close, they're almost there, and every time he lands one, they're gonna go for a fight. It's that scares you. It's pushing TCM so far back past his turret, and here, look, Makler's getting 3 shots onto it because of that. You do see Volibear coming forward, we take Volibear, and there's the hook. They grab him out, they don't get stunned down. Oriana hits 2 people, pulls Ezreal in, forces him arcade shift away. Volibear first one to fall. This time they managed to get Cuba, but Makler's not taking any damage again. Gio's forced to leap out of that fight, and there goes the tower. MYM happy with that, going to start to back away.
Nice hook. Again, a hook on Volibear. Even Volibear, you know, who has the passive, who is so tanky. He's got a Giant's belt. He's got a Warmogs. He's just, and, oh, here they go again.
There they go. There's the Rumble comes out this time. Makati's got himself a little bit cut off, but they do manage to get the kill onto Tariq first. Vayne is exposed, and Gio's going for him, but once the burst is down, he's got nothing. The Rumble has been finished off with the other 3 members of MYM. Now, Nuke's trying to duel Makler, but he's not working out, and now Makler's got support. Barrier goes down. Doesn't matter. They finish him off. MYM grabbed themselves an inhibitor, take out 4 members of TCM for their trouble. Back out, pinged onto Dragon on their way. Gonna base, gonna buy all these big items because they're very rich now. Gonna get this extra Drake kill and then try and come back. But we do see Home Guard comes out from Gio, gets in, trying to find Charu, but the Lantern's there. Libic saves the day once more, and actually MYM are looking to turn on this. They can't find it though. TCM back away before the hook comes out. Still only 2 of them. MYM have still all that Baron buff. They're gonna go for this Drake, and there's nothing TCM can do about it.
MYM are really good in the mobile battles, and that's definitely showed right now. I mean, even just something simple as the Oriana speed up on the Vayne. Just, you know, Ezreal, he has a flash, you know, but he still could not get away. But MYM, they're in the zone now. They know how to finish this game out. And TCM, I mean, Kha'Zix, he's got to find a great engage on Vayne if they want to win a team fight.
50,000 gold to 39,000. We've got 10k gold advantage now in favour of MYM. A game that started out so close, it's just started to spiral out of TCM's hands. 5 towers to 2, and that inhib down. Slight bonus with the inhib now means they're going to get creeps pushing up towards them. We're going to be able to farm it a little while, but MYM are going to keep the pressure up that whole time and not just let you free farm it. Libic will push the bottom lane, as you do, and MYM are going to go across to join him as they take down this tier 2 turret in bottom lane. I think Makati might phase tank it. No, they're just going to wait for the creeps. But Charu's got to be careful. He's almost caught out of position. Does have his own speed buff up. Speed boofs.
Yep.
Slows. Speed boosts. And does get away from that charging Volibear. Does give the rest of CCM a chance though to rotate round towards his bottom tower and start to set up a defensive line. Do they have enough wave clear to get through this? Here comes the creep wave. Hook goes out, grabs a creep, and they're ready for it. All their creeps down. And MYM pushing onto this, and they've got a scanning minion. There's the Oriana host, 3 people again, and does so much damage. Arcus throws Makate into the tower. Romulo is a good placement to try and chop them off, but there's the box to do the same. Gio leaps in. Why? There's no one low health, and you just get nuked when it happens. Narcus does the same. Now MYM are going to keep chasing TCM up the lane. Nanook taking a lot of damage from Cubon, just waiting for the slow to come up. Zola's very low. There's the last shot from Vayne for that kill. Migas are there. Oriana's finish off. Nanook, 5 members of MYM left standing, chasing TCM. There's the final start. Cubon a double kill on Vayne.
Great initiation from MYM. Nice Oriana ult, set all that up. They chunked them down nicely. Kha'Zix went a bit too far. He's looking for the instance he can go in, but he just didn't find it. He dropped like a fly, and great job by MYM.
There it is, MYM 2-0. They will go through to tomorrow's final. They have earned themselves a place in this summer promotion qualifier. Their second chance at getting into the LCS. They got so close last time around in Warsaw. Just had it snatched out from underneath them. They're looking for it again. They got to be happy with themselves. That was a good game. Again, just like before, I don't want to take anything from TCM Gaming. They played a solid game. They are a new team. They are an up-and-coming team. And that performance in the start of both of those games shows a lot of promise.